Hello, this is Tom Seidner, the Lonely Gamer, and today I am going to show you a program that I wrote to allow me to play a solo version of Unmatched. Now, Unmatched is one of the games that I really enjoy, and I wrote a mobile app to allow me to play solo with it. I'm going to be playing it on this tablet here. I'm also going to put a copy of the program that I'm using in the description below so you guys can download it if you want to give it a try. It is a work in progress. Not everything works perfectly, but I'm going to kind of give you an idea of how you can play solo using this app. I'm going to be updating the app periodically, so you might come back periodically and download it to see if there's a new version out there. I will keep the version updated so that whenever I make changes to it, I'll put it out there under that same link, and then you can just re-download it if you want to. So this is the Unmatched companion app that I've written to work on Android mobile devices. So if you have an Android mobile device, you can go to the link below in the description, and you can download this and you can install it on your device. It is an APK, and you do have to sideload it. You can't get it from a store anywhere, but you can install it and run it on your device if you want to try and use it to play a solo version of Unmatched on by yourself. So the first thing you're going to do in the program is you're going to pick whatever character you want, and you can see here there's a bunch of different ones. We could pick the Raptors. We could pick Dracula. We can pick Sinbad. Everyone that you pick, you can see that it changes and tells you what their special ability is. So Sinbad says here, when you maneuver, you may move your figure +1 space for each voyage card in the discard pile. Same thing with like the Raptors. Raptors add 1 to the value of the attack for each of your Raptors adjacent to the defender. So when you pick it, it's going to automatically show you their special ability. It's also going to create their deck. It's going to draw 5 cards in their hand, and it's going to show you that there are 25 cards left in the deck. So when you're playing the game and you're playing as the CPU player, we're going to say, there are some things you can do. You can maneuver, you can attack with the fighter, you can attack with a sidekick, you can defend with the fighter, or you can defend with the sidekick. Now, if you maneuver and you have a scheme card, it's automatically going to play the scheme card. Otherwise, it's going to maneuver and draw a card into your hand. So let's try to maneuver here. So we maneuver, and we did have a scheme card called Coordinated Attack Pattern. And so this is going to happen. Choose one of the Raptors. You may place each of the other Raptors in each space in the chosen Raptor zone. So that's going to happen instead of maneuvering. So just to add a little bit of unpredictableness to the CPU player, if he has a scheme, he'll play it when he tries to maneuver. Now, if he doesn't have a scheme and you maneuver, it's just going to go ahead and draw 1 card into his hand. You can see that went from 4 to 5, and this went from 5 to 24. And then you're going to move them around on the board yourself. I try to be really aggressive with the CPU player and try to kill me so that I just give myself a really good game. The other thing that you can do is you can attack with your fighter. So if there's an attack card with your fighter, this will be available. If there's no attack card in your hand for your fighter, this will be grayed out. So I can attack with my fighter. You can see there's my attack. It's my attack, my boost, the name, and then any special effects, which this one has an after combat effect. Now you would, when you're playing, you would play your card face down first before you press this button, and then that way it'll be blind to what's going to happen. You can see the cards in my hand have decremented down to 4. And if I keep attacking, then I'm going to run out of cards here, just like in a regular game. I can continue to attack, though, until I have no cards in my deck for my fighter. And at that point, you can see that I cannot attack anymore. You can see that there are no cards in my hand. I only have 1 card in my hand. But there are no cards in my hand for my fighter to attack, and there are no cards in my hand for my sidekick to attack. So neither one of them can attack. So in order to get more cards, I need to maneuver around the board. Or if I have something that tells me to draw cards, I can actually draw a card here. So if I have a card that says, if you won the battle, draw 2 cards, then I could just draw, and I'll draw the 2 cards, and you can see now that I've drawn, now I have attacks for my fighter and my sidekick. I can also defend with my fighter and my sidekick, so if I'm attacking their fighter and the CPU needs to defend for the fighter, I can click Defend Fighter. It will go ahead and defend for the fighter. If I attack again, I can defend for the fighter again. Let's say I attack again. Well, there are no defense cards, so the fighter has no defense. And so it's just like somebody saying they're not going to defend. Now, there was no way to know that because this doesn't gray out, and that would just give you too much information. So this doesn't gray out on defense. But if I did this on my first action, I'm pretty safe to be like, okay, I'm going to attack again, that, and no defense again. All right? Same thing with the sidekick. I'm assuming if there's no defense for the fighter, there's probably none for the sidekick, but there could be a card in here that was a sidekick card. Now, when I maneuver, as long as I don't have a scheme, it's going to allow me to move, and it's going to increase the cards in my deck. If for some reason I have a card that says to discard a card, let's say I discard a card and add the boost to an attack, then I just hit discard. It will randomly discard a card from my hand, and then here's the boost value here. None of this other stuff happens if that's the case. The other thing that is to note is that if you kill the CPU sidekick, you just click the sidekick's dead thing here, and what will happen is, of course, the attack sidekick and defend sidekick will become grayed out. You can no longer attack or defend with the sidekick. But what also will happen is if you try to maneuver, it will not use cards that are owned by the sidekick. So if there was a scheme card for the sidekick and the sidekick is dead, then it's not going to use cards that the sidekick would normally be able to use on a maneuver. So that's how it works. It's a pretty simple program. There could possibly be bugs in it, so if you find a bug, please leave a comment in the comments below. Not everything is implemented. Down the road, I might make more progress on it and implement some more stuff. Currently, there's no way to put cards back in your hand, so if that is the case, you're going to have to house rule that somehow. I do have all the current characters in there that are current to the time of this video. There might be more that come down the road, and I will add them as I can. The other thing is you can download this from the link provided. If you want to check for a new version, then the link will be the same link. You can go back and re-download it and reinstall it. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, contact me through the comments. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this app, and I hope it works for you to play some solo games of Unmatched. So let's go ahead and give this a game a shot. I'm going to be playing Bigfoot versus Robin Hood. The app is going to be playing for Bigfoot, and I am going to be physically playing Robin Hood. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my 5 cards for Robin Hood, and I will get started. On the app, I first have to pick who I want to play as. So currently all the different characters are available underneath here that are out right now. Anything that's not out or that I don't have is not in there, but I will add those as they become available. I'm going to select Bigfoot. I don't know how well you can read it, but it tells me what Bigfoot's special ability is, and it's that at the end of your turn, if there are no opposing fighters in Bigfoot's zone, you may draw 1 card. So I got to try to remember to do that as I'm playing Bigfoot. So Bigfoot is on the first space, so I'm going to start with him. If you can see this, it says he has 5 cards and he has 25 cards in his deck. This keeps track of your cards in your deck. It also keeps track of your cards in your hand. Now, you don't know what the cards he has in his hand are, so you have to just, kind of go with it just like you would with a real opponent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to maneuver with Bigfoot. So I'm going to hit maneuver here. Maneuver will automatically play a scheme card if there's one in his hand. So he doesn't get to move, but it's going to play the scheme card. And the scheme card says, move the jackalope up to 5 spaces. You may move the jackalope through spaces containing opposing fighters. Then deal 2 damage to any fighter adjacent to the jackalope. So I'm going to move him. Let's just move him 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do 2 damage to this, which takes this guy out. So that guy is out of the competition and opens up the ability for Bigfoot to get to Robin Hood. That's one of the biggest problems with Bigfoot. He has to try to get to where he's going. So that was his first action, and for his second action, he is going to attempt to maneuver again. So I'm going to hit maneuver. This time he does maneuver. You can see his cards now went up to back up to 5 because he played the 1 as the scheme, and he's going to maneuver 1, 2, 3. He's going to get right up next to Robin Hood and try to smack him on his next turn. So that's it for Bigfoot. There is somebody in his zone, so he does not get to draw a card. So now I'm going to play Robin Hood. I am going to go ahead and attack with Robin Hood. There's my card. So I am attacking Bigfoot, so I'm going to defend Bigfoot. So I'm going to defend the fighter. And he plays a versatile 1 card. And it says, after combat, draw 1 card. If you won the combat, draw 2 cards. And so I played my Robin Hood 4, so he is going to take 3 damage. So I'll take 3 damage here. He's down to 13. And then his says, after combat, draw 1 card. So I'm going to go ahead and hit draw a card here. He did not win the combat, so he does not get to draw 2. And mine says, after combat, draw a number of cards equal to the amount of damage dealt to the opposing fighter. And that was 3. So 1, 2, 3. And now I have another action. And I seem to have a lot of cards here. So I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and maneuver. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and maneuver. I have a movement of 2, so I'm going to go 1, 2, and I'm going to move this guy here and that guy there. And I can't attack again. And I have 8 cards in my hand, so I have to get rid of one of my cards. So I'm going to get rid of this card here. Okay, so now it is Bigfoot's turn. He has 2 actions. I think his first action, he's going to try to take out this guy and get him out of the way. So he's going to attack him. So I'm going to go ahead and defend. And I will defend with this card. So this is going to be an attack from the fighter. So I'm going to attack from Bigfoot. He has an attack of 4. After combat, choose an empty space in the fighter's zone. Place the fighter in that space. So I did a 3. So that means that my guy is going to take 1 damage, which is going to kill him. But after combat, draw 1 card and return the defeated outlaw to Robin Hood's space. I'm going to put that here. And then I need to, after combat, choose an empty space in the fighter's zone, place the fighter in that space. And I'm going to place him right there. That was my first action with Bigfoot. And now I'm going to attack again with Bigfoot. I'm going to attack Robin Hood. And I'm going to play that for my defense. And I'm going to attack with the fighter. And it was a versatile 4 against a 3. So Robin Hood does take 1 damage. And after combat, if your fighter is adjacent to the opposing fighter, draw a card. So I get to draw a card because I am adjacent. And his says, after combat, if you won the combat, choose one of the fighters in the combat and move them up to 2 spaces. And I will not move him up to 2 spaces because I want to keep him where I can fight him. So that's it for Bigfoot. Now we're going to go to Robin Hood. Robin Hood is going to, let's see, what is Robin Hood going to do? I'm going to go ahead and attack. with this. So he is going to defend. So defend the fighter. He defends with a versatile. It's the after combat draw 1 card or 2 if you win. So he's not going to win because I did a 2. Plus, mine says during combat, your opponent discards 1 random card and adds its boost value. So I'm going to hit the discard button. The boost value of the one he discarded is 3. So this is a 5 attack against his 1 defense. So he's going to take 4. And he is going to get to draw a card because of the card he played. That's my first action. For my second action, I'm going to maneuver. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and draw a card. Alright, so now it is Bigfoot's turn. He is going to maneuver. He's going to attempt to maneuver. He did. He maneuvers. And then he automatically drew a card. And then he's going to attack with the fighter. And he attacks with a 6. I forgot to play my defense. Defend with this. You have to remember to play your defense before you hit the button on this. But anyway, I'm defending with a 3. He's doing 6. So this guy's going to take 3 damage, which will kill him. He has no after combat ability. My after combat ability is draw 1 card. Return defeated outlaw if any to a space in Robin Hood's zone. And I'm going to put a defeated outlaw right back there where he was. Bigfoot is going to attempt to maneuver because he needs cards. And he did. And he is going to move 1, 2, 3. He has 3 movement. And then his special ability says that he gets to draw another card since he has nobody in his spot. That's it for Bigfoot. And now we're going to go to Robin Hood. Robin Hood has a lot of cards. So he's probably going to boost a movement here. Let's see what he's got. Alright, I'm going to maneuver with Robin Hood to draw a card. And maneuver, and I'm going to boost that maneuver by 3. So there's a 3 for the boost. So 1, 2, 3. That's all I want to move. Actually, 4 or 5. That would be my movement. Then I'm going to attack Bigfoot. And so Bigfoot is going to defend the fighter. He defended with a 4. I attacked with a 5. So he does take 1 damage. After combat, move your fighter up to 5 spaces. You may move that fighter through spaces containing opposing fighters. Okay, then I'll go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll move him right there. That's the end of Robin Hood's turn. I only have 6 cards, so I don't need to discard. And it is now Bigfoot's turn. So now Bigfoot is going to attack Robin Hood. Let's see. I'm going to defend with... this. Oh, we can't attack. As you can see, that's grayed out. We cannot attack because we don't have any attack cards in our hand. So we are going to have to attempt to maneuver first. So let's maneuver. And he played a scheme. So move Bigfoot up to 5 spaces. You may move Bigfoot through spaces containing fighters. I might as well move him now. So I'll move him back here. And I'm going to go ahead and, since I was not able to maneuver that time, I'm going to maneuver again. This time I was able to maneuver. I did get a card. And I am also not in anybody's zone at the end of my turn, so I'm going to draw another card. And I'm not. And I do have some attack for the fighter now, so I don't have any attack for this. But all right, but that was not a good turn for me for Bigfoot. So let's go to my turn. I am going to need to maneuver if I want to get to where I can shoot him, yeah, I'm going to maneuver, and then I'm going to attack. Bigfoot ranged, and so we're going to defend the fighter, and he is defenseless. He has no cards to defend, so that means that I am going to do all of my damage, which is 5 damage to Bigfoot. And he is now down to 3. And I know he's defenseless, so now I should probably attack again. Let's see what I've got. I'm going to go ahead and attack again. Of course, I'm going to try to defend the fighter. He is defenseless still. I'm going to do 2 damage, plus he's going to discard a card. And his boost value on that is 3, so that's 5 damage. So he is dead. So I just took out Bigfoot, and that's how the app works. The app has a couple other things that I'll go over in more detail and something that you can see the app better, but I just wanted to see it being played. If for some reason his sidekick have gotten killed, we would go ahead and check the sidekick killed, and then those options for the sidekick wouldn't be available, and it wouldn't be able to use scheme cards for the sidekick at that point, or any attack or defense for the sidekick as well. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys are interested in this app, go ahead and download it and give it a try. Feel free to give me feedback. There are some things that aren't implemented, and there's some things with some of the different characters that don't work, exactly as planned, because some of it's hard to do. I do not have this set up to put cards back in your hand, but that may be something that comes in a later version. But for now, it does work, and it does allow you to test your decks against some of the different opponents and just see what happens. So if you guys are interested, give it a try. Like I said, feel free to leave feedback if you have find bugs in it or things that don't work right. And otherwise, happy gaming.